Nah, y'all. I mean, well, first of all, you do tank lip. Let me at least say it while I still got some time on this planet. But, like, I'm genuinely afraid. And, like, that isn't really a part of me. I mean, like, at a chapter in my life, the fear and paranoia, which maybe was very fair to have for a definite and certain enemy that want to take my life. I suspect, but it was called paranoia in the diagnosis of my mental illness. But the doctors might have botched that case. Like, just to calm me the fuck down and get me through life, they're telling me that shit ain't real. You're just paranoid. There's no enemy. You're not that important that wants to take you out. But in the reality of, like, literally the reality, I may actually have, like, an enemy, and I have been actually maybe just such a case of bitchness that I never found out my enemy, so never had problems to the extent of what I may have now when I actually know who the enemy is. Then, like, what is the enemy capable of, you know? But, like, I spent so much time conquering my fear and paranoia and being like a strong tank, like the unstoppable tank that's just on a mission of fighting through whatever suffering and pain I've been through, regardless of what was the cause. Maybe it's just the cause of my mental illness. Maybe I've been plotted on in a bitch that just got targeted for bitchness, and there was an enemy that caused it. Maybe it was my mental illness. But I've been so hell-bent in hell of, like, trying to figure out the enemy, or not so much so concerned with trying to figure out the enemy, just focused on survival and beating what a real and certain enemy tried to do to me. And, like, to an extent, I've conquered that. And today wake up a somewhat strong tank, but injured and damaged from, like, what has been done to me and what I've gone through. Like, it gets you shook, like, literally in a physical sense over time, the more you go through it. So to an extent, I'm a stronger tank, and to an extent, I'm a weaker tank than even when the shit first started happening. But, like, my whole agenda or mission was always stay astute and observant to when the devil shows his face and reveals itself. And all of a sudden today I have this epiphany that I know who the enemy is, like the ultimate mastermind. Like, I guess you could call it the devil if what has been done to me is on some bad shit. And, like, am I being reckless right now to call out an enemy that I'm really outnumbered by? Because that's a lot more connections, a lot more juice than I got, a lot more back. Like, I used to be able to walk around in New York and get all kinds of love, you know? Not have to watch my back as much. Feel like I'm in a place where I'm accepted and appreciated. And, like, you call out an actual enemy and all the implications of what I'm calling out, and I don't know that I'm really that strong of a tank. I am actually kind of afraid of a dude like that in real life. Like, that's a mastermind right there. That's a silent gangster in the sense of you really don't want that problems, because that's a gangster that leaves no fingerprints. Like, my life could be gone in a year. No one would know the difference or ask any questions because it'd just be a clean job, you know? Like, the dude keep his hands clean, but he tough. And you know he got the juice. You know he got back. And I really don't want those problems. But whether I call him out or call the enemy out, I still got those problems anyway. Like, I didn't go out looking for trouble when my life went south. When I took that descent in hell, I was trying to enjoy a slice of heaven and a piece of the good life, right? And my life took a wicked turn for the worse, and I didn't ask for that. I didn't go out looking for shit to get bad, and I really feel like a victim of some like devilish plot. And you know, at the end of the day, I always suspected this shit don't happen to people for no reason. Like money the root of all evil, and somebody profiting and rising to somewhere that they want in their life off my suffering and my pain. And I've never been okay with that. I've been very angry about that. And I've always said to myself, just survive, keep going through. When that devil shows his face, that enemy shows his face, I will be a strong Jedi ready for war. In a battle rap sense, in a music sense, but in real life too, like on some throw your hands type shit. We gonna throw fists? Let's fight. Whatever it is, like you come for me and try to make me a fool twice. No, that's shame on me. I will not be the fool twice. So I feel like this epiphany, I'm going through the suffering anyway. Like, on a sense, how do I not call out that type of beef and that type of enemy? Because the beef is already there. To them, I'm a threat. I'm the ultimate fingerprint that survives shit that other people maybe drop dead from, you know? But I stay silent once I know the truth. That's bitchness. I'm a bitch. I call it out. Some people might say that's on like virgin on the borderline of snitching on some like you're breaking street codes and shit. That's bitchness. But how do you not? If you represent the ultimate strength of an unstoppable soldier that has had to muscle and fight his way through hell just to survive, no longer even enjoying life, no excitement, no peace. How can you have peace and peace of mind when you're suffering to this extent? So in a sense, maybe the mission has been just to survive long enough to get the truth. Then the truth comes to you, you know who your enemy is. Whether on some psychic shit, someone told you, you just somehow found it out, poking holes through the plots here and there, and then it comes to you, okay, if someone was profiting off your pain for their rise in the game, and money, success, and like the clout, then who's at the top right now? It's Math Hoffa. That's like on the top of the game right now. Maybe the epiphany comes to you, that must be the enemy. Because this is not on some things or coincidences. This is everything happens for a reason. And like different matrix puzzle pieces arrived me today to the conclusion that Math Hoffa must be that ultimate devil or ultimate enemy. How do I not call it out? And like in an extent, I don't want success based on a beef with someone big. And I don't want success that's going to ultimately end up as my demise, as that kind of enemy is exactly the kind of enemy I don't want to have. Like someone real dangerous and powerful that I'm really outnumbered. I'm no match for that kind of enemy because I'm not the kind of person that goes out and looks for problems. I might wage on some rap beefs, some lyrical beefs, music beefs to get my name out there and get some clout. But this on some real life shit where it's not really about musical, it is very much personal. It's personal to me because I've always been out searching for who's that enemy, then I take revenge. Now I figure out the enemy and I realize I don't want those problems, but at the same time, I'm the ultimate bitch. That is not respectful. Something you respect when a soldier figures out who the enemy is and what? You just duck that enemy? So you call it out because you're a truth seeker, but now you have even worse problems. Now instead of you being a fingerprint and a liability that the enemy's like, do we let him live? Do we not let him live? Now they most definitely and certainly want to get rid of you and kill you. Only it'll probably happen and it'll never be found out. Then you're no longer alive to seek the truth and find out the truth. Because then you're just dead and there's a big cover up, no different than like Biggie and Pac, you know? They died No one ever went to jail for their deaths, and look how big they were, and they still weren't safe. I'm small man on the totem pole. I'm easy pickings, no different than I was easy pickings when they got me the first time. So it's real complicated. My problems right now, real complicated. This is going to cause my mental illness to get worse because now I'm going to have to be paranoid and watch my back. It's not good. I hate to tell y'all, I am actually afraid. Like everything I conquered and all my paranoias and delusions I've conquered, it's almost inevitable that I would have to have anxiety and paranoia about this, you know? Feel like I gotta watch my back, and that'll just cause more suffering. That ain't no way to live. If I don't watch my back, I'll just be an easier target for bitchness, and it'll get me that way. So probably the best thing I could have done was just keep my mouth shut and enjoyed some truth. Like, that must be the enemy. Oh well, is what it is. Guess he gonna be big man on the totem pole and I'll be low man on the totem pole. Because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna be low man on the totem pole. He's still gonna be big man on the totem pole. I'm gonna look like an even bigger bitch for calling him out because it looked like snitching. Never gonna get the success in rap that could be arrived from this kind of excitement of this kind of beef with someone big, you know. And now my life probably gonna end soon, so it's just not good. I guess I can look forward to the hit contract on Tank Lip Life, and it ain't gonna be a music hit. It's probably gonna be boom, 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 you know, bang, bang, bang. Everything's low quality. What's what the brother from the other side? No, Tank Lip dead now, you know? It is what it is. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get to it. You already know what it is. I don't know what to tell you. This is probably foolish. Not very street smart right now, what I'm doing. Like, I'm making the wrong kind of noise. The wrong kind of attention, but I mean, I just don't stand for that. I'm not about being somebody's bitch, and I feel like I stumbled upon the answers to why I've been targeted for bitchness. There's a mastermind behind it, and I've suffered so much. How do I keep my mouth shut when you stumble upon the truth? Come on, I've been looking for the truth this whole time. Like, what, now you get the truth, you're afraid of the devil? I don't duck from no devil, but at the same time, if I'm being honest, I'm no match for this kind of devil. I thought I would be, but we're this kind of enemy. I'm outnumbered. I'm not fit for this kind of real life battle, and I really don't want these problems, but they brought the problems to me. It's not my fault that I'm so smart and I figured it out, you know. Sometimes being smart is like a whole new box, and I just boxed myself into a really dark corner. So I don't know what to tell y'all. Maybe some advice what I do about this. I guess there's beef now, Tank Lip versus Math Hoffa, and I don't think it on some rap shit. I don't know. I really don't think. I should probably not be making this kind of noise. I should probably just adhere to some type of street code shit and keep my mouth shut so I could at least, if not make it in rap, make it in life. But too late now. I done opened my mouth for the last 40 minutes, so and I understand the ramifications for me almost whining like on some shit like this. I'm probably making myself look like a real bitch, but even if I made millions of dollars, right, off of this Tank Lip versus Math Hoffa beef, and even if my career got to such a point where I was a name, like, to be reckoned with in the industry, like on an Eminem level, I don't know that I would want to walk around life being afraid that the next time someone get me, it because Math Hoffa behind it. Because that's probably what will happen from a beef like this, you know? This on literally, I'm not trying to be no G or gangster. This literally on some real life shit, Matrix shit, life in hell, whatever you want to call it. I got real and definite and certain enemies, and I figured out public enemy number one is Math Hoffa to the life of Tank Lip. Either way, that's the truth if it's the truth. If it is what it is, that's the truth. So what does it matter if I call it out? All I'm doing is saying, I figured it out. I know the truth now. I had to get it off my chest or it just eats at me. I'm not snitching on anyone. I'm snitching on my own life and the threats of my life of an enemy that wants to torture you and destroy you and then ultimately make you go away. And I've just been trying to fight to get through life and not go away. So I don't believe in silence. I'm no lamb that believes in being silent. So I'm speaking up and out. The enemy is who he is either way. So I don't think I'm breaking those street codes. I think this is some real soldier shit to acknowledge that I do have a real and certain enemy and acknowledge that even though I know I'm going to get labeled for being a bitch or the bitchness, that I'm still willing to speak up and be strong and say, hey, this is what's going on, guys. I mean, I'm acknowledging the truth of something and saying, hey, this time I didn't know it was going to be the case, but I'm afraid of the truth. I don't want these problems. The problems are still there, whether you admit it to yourself or not. So I don't believe in lying to myself. I don't even believe in lies. One of the things I've been so angry is that I got and didn't have the truth or the answers. So I finally get it. Why would I be silent? I never was silent about I suspected I got enemies. I just happen to figure out who the enemy is. Some people don't live long enough to figure that out. Why would I stay silent on some real logical, philosophical shit? Why would I? And I'm saying I'm afraid of the dude. And you don't hear Tank Lip say he's afraid of anyone. I'm usually cocky about, who want a piece of these problems? Hey, this is a first. I don't really want these problems. I'm outnumbered. Hey, I feel the clock ticking now, I'm not happy about this. I'm bent out of shape. But it is what it is. You do Tank Lip.